Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live. Today I'm here to talk about, let's move that a little bit. A side hustle perfect for any person and any voice. This is just an impromptu live session. I've never done three in one day, so I'm just doing a late night session just to see if anybody is interested in learning about this side hustle. I'm here to talk about what it is, how I got into it, how you can get started doing it, a little bit of my story, and I'm here to answer any questions about it because this is literally, my opinion, the perfect side hustle that anybody can do with a voice. Doesn't have to be this big fancy studio, you don't have to have a bunch of equipment. Basically, how I started was I was a normal everyday dude, going to college, had a normal everyday job. One day, I got on my laptop, I found this website called Fiverr. I made a profile and I learned a lot like as I went, but I started offering voiceovers. And that is the side hustle that I'm talking about. It is voiceovers. I've been doing voiceovers from home ever since 2010. It's been the best thing to ever happen to me. It has opened so many opportunities. I've learned so much about the world of voiceovers. I've learned that there's such a big demand for it in so many different kinds of industries that there's literally a need for every kind of voice. There's a need for male voices, there's a need for female voices, kids, teens, people over the age of 30, 40, 50, 60. There's a need for all kinds of voices. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, what if I don't have the right voice? What if my voice isn't perfect? And that's okay because you don't need to have this perfect golden sounding voice, this voice from the gods. Um, there's a need for normal sounding people just like you and me. A lot of commercials nowadays are using normal voices. They call it guy next door or girl next door voices because they connect with audiences that are normal people. So, anyway, I already had a job when I was, in college when I was starting this out, but I gave it a shot. I didn't even have a mic, and I bought my first mic for like 50 bucks. Perfect side hustle. I started getting orders, I started getting jobs, which led to me getting more reviews. And I remember one day telling my dad, like this has some potential. Like I'm doing this voiceover thing on the side. Like maybe I could focus on this. And my parents always support me, but he did tell me to kind of stick to. He said stay in college. Finish it, get a real job. But I told him, Dad, like I think this is taking off, and it started with just it started with gas money, and then grocery money, and then paying my rent, and then paying for trips. In 2018, I was able to travel the world for a year straight while recording voiceovers from my hotel or Airbnb. Because to do this, all you need is your voice, a microphone, and your laptop, and you can do this side hustle. Now, that said, it's not like an easy overnight thing. I want to make that clear. Voiceover is an art. You do have to put in the time and exercises to train your voice to sound like a pro. You have to learn proper mic technique and also how to record. So, all of those things are important, but it's fun. It is super fun. And like I said, there's a huge potential. You can earn a lot. There's some really great paying jobs. One of the recent ones I did was voicing characters for a Nintendo Switch video game that is coming out in June. I posted that on my TikTok a couple days ago, but yeah, I'm stoked about it. Like, I'm Nintendo. Nintendo is an internationally known company, and I did a voice for one of their games, so very cool. So I invite you guys to ask some questions about this side hustle, about this experience. Again, I started in 2010, so I've been doing this for 13 years. In that time, I've been able to learn a ton about the industry, how to get started, tips and tricks, and I've gotten all kinds of projects, you know. And some of you guys might be wondering, okay, what is voiceover? What is it? And voiceover is when a company sends you a script and your job is to record that script, bring it to life. The company will then use your voice and put it in a commercial, in an audiobook, in a mobile game, mobile app, some sort of media or application. That is voiceover. It could even be like a movie trailer. There's a lot of different, even a voicemail. A voicemail could be a voiceover. Or the announcements at your grocery store. Something like, attention shoppers, we have a special deal on bananas. You can now get two for the price of one. Thanks for shopping here at Grocery Outlet. Grocery Outlet, bargain market. So that's a voiceover too. So all those are examples of voiceover. And again, there's a need for all kinds of voices. You don't have to have this perfect or special voice. That's why I say this is a side hustle that's perfect for any person and any voice, because there's a need for male, female voices, old, young, accents, no accents, different languages. So that's my story, guys. That's how I started into voiceover. I do it to this very day. I love it. And that's why I made this account, to kind of give advice, feedback, and kind of share information about how you can get started doing this. So without further ado, guys, let's dive right into the questions. And we're at 119 likes. The goal for this live is to hit 5,000 likes. So let's see if we can hit that goal. If you like what I'm saying, if you like the advice, go ahead and smash that like button, and we'll get to that 5,000 like goal. All right, diving into the questions. Here we go. What equipment do you use? So again, when I started, I didn't have any equipment, but my first mic was a $50 USB mic. Now I use a $230 USB XLR microphone called the Yeti Pro. So again, it doesn't have to be this fancy smancy $1,000 mic. You can use a $100 USB mic to get you going. But you do have to have a good booth, and you do have to have a well-treated voice. I did put together a beginner's course that takes you step by step on how to use your mic, proper mic technique, the right exercises that you need to sound like a pro. And I also have a video tutorial that shows you how to start recording your very first voiceovers. For anybody that's interested in taking that next step and getting started, the link is in my bio. Super affordable course. It's the cost of a large pizza. So check that out for anybody who wants to get in on this. Where do I start up? So again, you want to train your voice, know how to record, get that demo. But once you have that demo, you can put it on either Fiverr, Upwork, ACX. There's many websites, including Voices 123, but some of them are more competitive than others. The one I've used, again, is Fiverr from the beginning, and I've heard some people also have good success on Upwork. Again, don't just sign up on the website. Don't make that mistake. You got to train your voice first. How much did you get paid for that Nintendo Switch voiceover? It was a couple $100. So not too bad. But I was more excited about being in a video game. So what kind of training do you need? So you need to train your voice. Basically, how to take words on a script and give it life. Proper speed, enunciation, proper pauses. All of that are fundamentals of a good voiceover. So that's the kind of training I would recommend. And you could get that through voice coaching, voice classes. My beginner course goes over the exercises as well. But yeah, those are kind of the things that you need to learn. What resources do you recommend to start learning proper technique and exercises? Again, same deal. So find a voice coach, take some voice classes. I did speech classes in college. My beginner's course has those exercises in there, warm-up exercises, techniques on how to perform well on the mic. So that's all in there for those of you interested. Do you need a certain type of voice? You don't need a certain type of voice. There is no like right or perfect voice. There's so many different kinds of voices online, and that's a good thing. That's why I say that this is perfect for anybody with any voice. But again, you do have to train your voice. You do have to be able to give that script life, because this isn't reading. It's voice acting. So it has an acting element to it. Great question. I'm going to drink a little. We're at 1,600 likes, guys. Appreciate the love. Let's see if we can hit 5,000. I'll take a little sip. Not so much better. All right. What up from Los Angeles? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was born in Los Angeles, but I'm not in Los Angeles right now. Can you use AI? Ooh, this is a good question. So there's been this big artificial intelligence boom, and I get this question from time to time, which is artificial intelligence going to replace our voice actors? And I've dabbled a lot with it. I've actually cloned my own voice. I've actually experimented with different programs, and I'm not totally convinced. I'm not impressed. It's not there yet. I'm not worried about AI taking these jobs at all. AI does a good job of sounding like a real person, like as far as like the voice itself, but it's a lifeless voice. So for example, AI might sound something like this, even though it's my voice and it sounds like me. It doesn't have any life or any fluctuation or any pauses or anything at all. It just sounds like me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's my voice, but it doesn't have any life. That's what I've been seeing through AI. Impressive, but nonetheless, I don't think it's. I'm not afraid. I'm not worried about it. Should you start out at Fiverr? I've had good success on Fiverr. Yes, Upwork as well. Check that out. ACX, people per hour. But first, you got to train your voice. Start with the voice. Do not make an account. I don't want you to get discouraged because a lot of people sign up on the website. They've never recorded a voiceover before. Does not work well like that. Like you have to train your voice, put in the love for the art because this is an art. It's just like cooking and dancing. Nobody's perfect on day one. You gotta learn the art. Where do I look? Again, Fiverr, Upwork, ACX are good websites once you have trained and practiced and know how to record. Was it ever quiet enough for long enough in hotels to do voiceovers? Yes. Yep. There's always a quiet time. Um, that could be when people are asleep, but usually for me, I've had no problems. There was one time when I got a hotel room that was kind of close to a busy street, so I could hear traffic from time to time, and it was a little on the noisy side. And in those scenarios, you record later at night when everybody's quiet. When there's no traffic is dead, you record then, or in the morning. But there's always a time when you can record. So that's my advice there. Wait, bananas are on sale? Bananas are on sale. 2 for 1. Come and get them now. Thanks for shopping at Grocery Outlet. Grocery Outlet, bargain market. Can you record with an iPhone? I don't record using a phone. I don't recommend that either. You want a dedicated condenser microphone. Doesn't have to be expensive. My first USB mic was only $50 and I was good to go. I got started, right? That's why this is the best side hustle ever. You don't have to invest too crazy amount into gear, but you will want to upgrade it as you go. That's what I did. I started making money. I got a better mic. I was able to build a better sound booth with sound panels, so everything just got better and better. But don't do iPhone is fine for practicing. You can practice, get used to hearing yourself on your iPhone, but don't do client work with it. How does one get started? The best thing to do to start is to use your voice. Basically train your voice, learn the fundamentals of a good voiceover, which is like speed, pauses, enunciation, flow, style. Again, guys, I put together a beginner's course that takes you step by step. How to have proper mic technique, how to build a booth at home no matter what kind of budget you're working with. And I've included those exercises that you need to sound like a pro. And also, you will learn how to record using Audacity. I even created 10 different scripts that you can use, and I've put those in the beginner's course so you guys have access to that. So anybody who's interested, check out the link in my bio. You can sign up for that. These are really great questions, and we're at 2,100 likes. Thank you guys for the love. It lets me know that you guys are enjoying my advice and the content here. Again, let's hit 5,000 today. Keep smashing that like button if you are having a good time and just enjoying the content. I tried Audacity. I don't get it. I know software can be a little confusing at first. That's why I made that beginner's course, because I know it can be confusing, and it's so much easier when you have someone walk you through it step by step. But it is a good program. It's what I used when I started out. Eventually I did upgrade to FL Studio, but yes. Bro, I just watched a few of your videos, and since we just had a baby, our first baby, congratulations on having your first baby, boy or girl. That is really awesome news. Thank you for mentioning that. Possible tip. Libraries have conference rooms you can reserve for free, and libraries are usually quiet. That is a good point. That is a pro tip. Here's the problem though. The conference rooms aren't always treated very well. You need not only a quiet space, but it needs to be treated with either sound panels, moving blankets, or if you're just starting out, blankets or pillows around the house will work too, but you got to treat it a little bit. Sometimes you can get away with it, but the last conference room I saw in a library, I'm not sure if it would work. I'm not sure. Because they do often have carpeted flooring, and carpet does help a lot. But again, it's sometimes it's just not enough because oftentimes they have windows, right? And the windows are very bouncy as far as audio goes, and it doesn't create very good acoustics. My wife is looking for a side hustle. You're the man for not gatekeeping. Yes, sir. I'm not here to gatekeep. I'm a transparent dude. I'm here to answer questions, give you this full scoop, let you know the ins and outs, the nitty gritty. Yeah, I love doing this. I'm here to help. Again, guys, I do my best to answer all the questions. Next paycheck, I'm gonna buy your YouTube thing. Awesome. Yeah, it's super cheap, guys. It's $27. So definitely invest in yourself. I put a lot of work into that step-by-step course, and like I wanted to make it affordable. So it's $27. I think that's a great price. I think that if you have something of value, if you're good at what you do, you definitely should be paid for it. So again, guys, check it out for those of you interested. What else do we got? We're at 3K. That is amazing, guys. Love that. Appreciate the love. Love the questions. Let me go back up here. I missed a couple. I sing, not act. Any hope? I think if you're a singer, you have a good head start. If you have done some singing, if you have experience doing public speaking, if you have any experience behind a microphone, if you have touched a microphone, if you use that on your day to day, you're in good shape because you are learning some of the principles that are needed in voiceover. You are learning to project your voice. You're learning to speak with confidence. You are learning mic technique. How you're getting used to hearing your voice. Like all of these things overlap into voiceover. So yes, that is a positive thing. You definitely hope for you. What else do we got here? It took me a year to get the Audacity down. Wow. Yeah, audio programs can be a little complex at first, and I'm very glad you said that because I didn't realize like how confusing it could be. But I guess yeah, that's true. It is. Everybody learns at different speeds, but I'm really glad that you finally did get it. And again, that's why I made that beginner's class, because I don't want it to take you guys a year. I want you guys to learn this in like a week. And that's why I put it, like, I definitely put it in there. Do you record, or do you need a special program to record? And how do you send the finished product back? Ooh, excellent question. Again, Audacity is free, so you can start on the Frizzle with that. You do need to purchase a mic, though. Are paid programs. I use FL Studio, which is paid, but Audacity is just fine. If you have a Mac, you can use GarageBand. What was the other part? How do you send the finished product? So you export it as an MP3 or a WAV file. So they're going to send you a script, and you're going to bring that script to life. You're not simply going to read it, but you're going to, give certain words emphasis, give it that pizzazz. Just like I mentioned earlier, Thanks for shopping at Grocery Outlet. Grocery Outlet and Bargain Market. So yeah, that's what you do. You send it through the website. Somebody said, "Are you single?" I am single. I am single, silly bird. Yes, I am. What else do we have? Can you do a pros and cons list? Ooh, this is a good one. My friend, I'm going to give you the interesting question award for this live. First time I've gotten asked that question. So pros and cons. The pros about this side hustle is it's fun. Every day you get something different. One day it could be a commercial. The next day you could be voicing a video game character or a cartoon character or a training video for a company or a training video for OSHA. So it's varied, it's very different, spontaneous, it's every day something different. So it's fun. It's low cost to get started. Again, use the computer you have already got. To make a booth at home, you can use things already around your house. You just need to buy the mic. So it's low cost to get started. and you can do it remote. So you don't have to travel to a office or to a customer or to a building or get stuck in traffic. You don't got to do any of that. Do it from home on your schedule after you're done working or before you go to school. So that's another pro. Another pro is it pays well. There are jobs that pay very well. In the beginning, you'll want to start on the lower side though, just a heads up, just to give you an edge over the competition. But if you look at my TikTok, I'm posting jobs where I'm doing 300, 400, 500, even $1,000 projects. And they don't take a lot of time. That's another thing. Once you get good at recording, you're going to be able to get it down pretty quickly, like record and edit quickly. So it's not a very time intensive once you get good. So those I would say are the biggest cons, the biggest pros. Those are the biggest pros. With cons like that, who needs pros? Yeah, the biggest pros. Now let's start with the cons. The cons, I would say, give me a second to think about that. You will need some dedication. You will need some dedication because voiceover is an art. You have to really want to do this. You have to be really excited about this because not only is it fun, it is a learning process. It's just like cooking and dancing. Even though those things are fun, nobody's perfect on day one. And that's okay. That is totally okay. That's where I was. I was a normal dude. I didn't have connects or anything fancy about my voice, but I wanted to do it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was interesting, something different. And I stuck to it, and I would literally put in the time to train my voice. I would listen to other actors. I would listen to ads on Netflix, and I would repeat after the actor. I would try to copy them and see how my voice sounded. And I would keep practicing to try to make it sound more and more like one of those professional guys. And eventually, I became the professional guy. So, the same thing. It does require a lot of dedication. Another con. There are a lot of people that search for voiceover talent, but they lowball. There's a lot of lowballing that goes on in the internet. I guess with any industry really, but it is something that exists there. So they'll demand very large projects and pay very, very little. But you just kind of steer clear of those guys. You don't have to do them. But there's some of those. It can be a little tough to get started at first, so it's important not to get discouraged easily. But that is something that's true. So you have to make sure you have a good demo and that you've trained your voice so that your demo can stand out from the competition. So those would probably be the biggest cons, I'd say. I didn't think of anything else. Yeah, those would probably be the biggest cons. But if you're dedicated, I think dedication beats talent every time. The most talented person isn't the one that wins. It's the person who's the most dedicated. And you, by just showing up here on this live and asking questions, that's already showing some dedication. That's already showing interest. That's already a positive step. You're right. I booked a voiceover gig. I did an old lady, old man, and little boy. I'm 31. There you go. There you have it. There's a need for all kinds of voices, character voices. This guy's 31 and he did an old lady voice, so there's a demand for that. Like, you'd be surprised what companies and people need. They need all kinds of voices. You don't have to have this right or perfect voice. You don't got to sound like Morgan Freeman or the movie trailer guy. In a world where one side hustle can change your life. But great questions. And by the way, we are at 5,000 likes, guys. We hit the goal super easy. I think I should update the goal now. Oh, wait, I said 10,000 likes. For some reason, I thought 5,000. Let's hit 10,000 likes, guys. I think we can definitely do it. Great questions. I'm getting a lot of questions now. Residuals. Great question. So residual income is a thing that happens. You have to negotiate it, though. And another word for it is royalties. So getting royalties. So it's much more common in the audiobook space, in my experience, that I've seen it. You can negotiate for royalties with the author. Basically, once the audiobook launches, every time it sells, you get a cut of that. Um, but I prefer doing more upfront cost and charging for the licenses. It's worked for me better. So from my experience, I prefer to just charge for the licenses, charge a one time upfront. Stina Red, how are you? Nice to see you again. What do you do when you hate the sound of your own voice by default? Is that something you just get used to? This is a good one. I think a lot of people can relate to that. You know, you record a voicemail, you record on something, you hear your voice, and it just doesn't sound. You hate the sound of your own voice. I can relate to that. Trust me. Especially, I make music, so I record vocals, and I feel that 100%. It's normal. Relax. Like, our minds are we're used to hearing our voices a certain way, but the recording shows us how we really are, like how we really sound. But that's okay. You know, you can hate your own voice. That's fine. But you would be surprised how many people would hear your voice and say, that's the one. That's the voice. And book you. You'd be surprised. I've seen people that you would think don't really have much talent. They're booking jobs just because they put themselves out there. They trained, they practiced, they put in the dedication, and they're getting jobs. What is your biggest money maker? Biggest money maker, I'm gonna say commercial jobs. Commercial jobs pay really well from well-known bigger production companies, I would say, because they not only pay for the voiceover, they pay for the license to broadcast it. They pay for the license for the commercial license. Sometimes they pay for an expedited fee, and they have huge budgets. So yeah, commercial voices, and sometimes training video voices too. They have pretty nice budgets. Basically, any large company, they'll pay whatever. So pro tip, if you're working with like a well-established company, do not sell yourself short. So yeah, if they send you material and it's like professional stuff and it's a professional company, it's a big company, they have employees, you know, send them a reasonable offer. Don't be afraid, and sell them the license, send them the broadcast rights, the commercial rights. They will pay for it every time. What else? Is it in demand? Most definitely it's in demand. There's a need for all kinds of voices. All right. And we are at 6,100 likes, guys. Very cool. Dance with me. Groove with me. Almost about to hit that 10,000 goal for this live. Have you done Foley work at all? I love this question. I love that question. I'm going to give you the silver award for the most interesting question. I love that. I have done some Foley work. I love that question. I have done some. The beautiful thing about voiceover is that, again, it's so much fun because you never know what kind of project you're going to get. One day, you could get a cartoon voice, the next day a radio ad, the next day a documentary, the next day an audiobook. And I have gotten one that's, they asked for Foley work, believe it or not. And that's up to you. That's up to you. You can tell them, no thank you, I don't do Foley work. Or if you're ambitious like me, you could say, bring it on, I got this. And I'm going to take a sip. I needed that. I had a customer send me the video, and I made every single sound in that video. I'm talking, there's a bumblebee that flies across the screen, and I'm going into my microphone. And there's like footsteps, and I'm making the footsteps, and I'm making like the whoosh sound. I'm going whoosh. And I've got this library of sound effects. So I'm putting all of the sound effects into the video combined with my voiceover. And sometimes they ask for music, and I charge the premium because look, this is a specialty task you're needing. If a customer ever asks you for something that is specialty, something outside the scope of normal work, you should charge a premium. You need to charge extra for it because customers understand, look, that's not easy. That's something outside the normal, what your normal offer. And they are especially happy to pay it. So again, I'm telling you guys this because I don't want you to sell yourself short. I want you to get paid what you're worth. I want you to make good money. I want you to be profitable and successful. So that's my experience on that. What else do we got? Thank you for the roses, by the way. I do appreciate that. And we are at 7,000 likes. I love that. We're almost at the 10,000 goal, which is pretty cool. There we go. Great questions. Don't you have to be union to do Foley work? Well, I'm a freelancer. I've always been a freelancer. I've never been union. Remember, the guys on that are using these sites, they're not always these like Hollywood blockbuster, type of company. Sometimes they are startups. Sometimes they're local businesses. Sometimes they're companies overseas. So they're coming to these websites. They are coming to these websites and they just need somebody to help them with the project. And sometimes they will ask you like, hey, can you do, music? Can you do script writing? Can you do Foley work? Sometimes they'll ask. It's a little rare for them it's actually very rare for them to ask Foley, but it has happened to me, so that's why I brought it up. Do you give your opinion on people's voices? I am thinking about doing a segment on calling in, like having a segment where you guys can call in and I would review your voice on the live. So I might do that in the future. Stay tuned. I love the idea. I think it'd make for a really interesting show. I love that idea, but stay tuned. I got to think it through, kind of see how I want to do it, but let me know if that's something you want to do. My voice is used for phone directions, like dial 1 for sales, dial 2 for customer service, dial 3 to repeat the menu. Yeah, if your voice is used for voice, for voicemail, then yeah, because I've had lots of people reach out to me for those projects. They're typically called IVR, which is interactive voice recognition. So yeah, there's a need for those voices as well. Voicemails, IVR. Just want the right direction for my future. How does pay work? And what is the recommended pay rate for, say, one line? So as a freelancer, it's up to you. You get to choose your own pricing. My pricing is based on word count. So the customer will send me a script. I'll tally up the words super quick, like in Microsoft Word or with a calculator. And I'll base it off of word count. So 100 words, I would charge a base rate of 35, and then they would need to buy the commercial license, which is 40, and the broadcast rights, if they want to broadcast it, which is another 40. So 35 plus 40 plus 40, 80 plus 35 is 115. So $115. And sometimes they need a one-day delivery. They need it the same day. Add on another 40. So that's $155 to say 100 words. 100 words. That doesn't take very long. I mean, it will take you longer in the beginning as you're starting out. I want to be realistic with you guys. But after the years, you get faster, you get more efficient. And now I've gotten to the point where I record, I cut out the mistakes, I edit, and I'm good to go. But hopefully that gives you kind of an idea of what's possible with the pay. Is there a potential to be a voice actor for an animated character? Absolutely, yeah. Voice, like cartoon characters, character roles, video game characters, that's a huge industry. That's huge, and it's growing. So yes, definitely, if you can do voices, like cartoons, characters, any additional voices, there's a spot for you. You should do this. Again, guys, I put together that beginner's course, which takes you through the steps you need to know. Training your voice, the right exercises to sound good on the mic, how to build a booth at home with no matter what budget you have, and also how to record step by step. It's a beginner's course. The link's in my bio for anyone who's ready to take that next step. It's only 27 bucks, so super affordable. So anybody who's interested, check that out. Great questions, by the way, guys. As a kid, I wanted to be My Little Pony voiceover in a cartoon. Maybe I can be at 40 years old. Yeah, I mean, if you can do a little pony voice at 40 years old, more power to you. There's definitely a demand for 40-year-old voiceovers, though, so don't think you have to sound like My Little Pony. You can use your normal voice and just train it to sound like authoritative and use it for commercial voices or radio. Check my TikTok duet I did with a voiceover challenge. Would like some insight. I want to see if I got that pizzazz. I have a booth and setup. I even have a demo. I'm not sure where to get started. Okay, very cool. So if you got the booth, you got the setup, you're already ahead of the game, you got the demo, awesome. Now you have to start marketing yourself. So put yourself on Fiverr, Upwork, ACX, Voices 123, people per hour. Put yourself on one of the sites. They're all great. And you have to make sure you set up a good offer. Let the demo do the selling. You can even, some sites let you reach out to people. So I would do that. Audition. Get yourself building relationships with people. Get yourself out there and start booking those jobs. Cha-ching. Setup. A good setup. So XLR microphones are going to be best. But again, if you're just starting, it's fine to use something like a USB mic, an affordable USB mic. I recommend something like the Yeti. 130 bucks. It'll get you going. What else do we got? Lots of really good questions. First time I hear about this. Yes, exactly. Side hustle perfect for any person, any voice. I love this side hustle. I'm so passionate about it. And we are at 8,000 likes. So I appreciate that. We got a lot of questions, guys. So I'm going to do my best to go through them. Let's see. What else do we got? Bart Barlington says 100 words, 35 commercial, 40 broadcast, 40 overnight. Yes, that is what I charge currently. I am thinking about upping the rates from 100 words to $40, and I'm planning to charge more for broadcast rights. So I'm going to experiment with $50 and $60 on that. I'm going to keep commercial at 40 though. So that's worked well for me, and I will report back. But I have a feeling it is going to work. But again, guys, you can raise your rates over time because you're building reviews, you're building your reputation. People know your voice, they trust you, they know you do great work. And as your demand goes up, you need to raise your prices. You need to. Because what happened to me is I started off super cheap. Like I don't even want you guys to go that as cheap as I went, but I was determined, like I'm going to do anything and everything. And I didn't know how to price myself back then. So I learned, and after a while, I was getting so many orders, I couldn't keep up. And you might think, well, that's a good thing, right? No, not necessarily. And I'll tell you why, but I'm going to get some water. But keep hitting that like button, guys. Don't anybody go nowhere. And I'm back. All right. Did we lose anybody? All right. Awesome. Everybody's still here. We're at 8,800 likes. So as I was saying, what happened? I was working a lot. I had a normal job. Remember, guys, I was going to college. I had a normal job. This was my side hustle, but I was getting so many orders. I was getting successful at it that I was like, what do I do? I couldn't keep up to it. I started delivering late. I started getting people upset. I raised my prices. And guess what happened? Some people fell off. Some people stopped ordering. But you know what? Most people stayed, and most people kept paying. Why? Because they like my work. They know that I'm worth it. And that's who I want. You want people who value your work. You want people who will pay your rates. Those are the people you want. Don't worry about like the low ballers. You know, you don't want those guys. Well, in the beginning, it's okay. It's okay to work with those guys because you want the reviews. But what I'm saying is, raise your rates over time, and everything was better. I kept raising my rates as I got more demand, and I was able to keep up, and I was able to put even more attention, dedicate more time to each project and each customer, because I raised my rates to the point where, all right, it's manageable. It's manageable. So hopefully that does give you some insights, because it's very important. Bro, you read my mind for real. I was earlier tell you, but you left and now you're back. Very cool. Maybe I'm a mind reader. I can read your mind. We're almost at 10,000 likes, guys. That is insane. What else? Do you have an agent or manager? No agent, no manager. All freelance. I do this all myself. Does your training materials include license agreements? So I talk about in my on voiceoverfreedom.com, I do have a course that's more advanced that talks about commercial rights and broadcast rights. But again, I don't really do too much of the residual thing, because most of those that I've seen are in the audiobook space. The clients that I work with, I do a one-time upfront. You buy the license, pay the work, we're good to go. I have seen some clients or some voiceover people do like a yearly. You have to renew the license for your voiceover. To me, I don't know. It just doesn't. And maybe not my style. I don't want to have to like track anybody down after a year, so I don't do that personally. But the person that I did talk to says that it's worked well for her. So maybe I will do some more research on it. But again, like my customers are really happy. They keep coming back anyway and keep ordering from me. So that's kind of how I roll. That's how I do business. Look, I'm just going to charge you one time up front. If you're happy, keep coming back. I'm happy to serve you. That's kind of my style. I'm pretty laid back, but professional at the same time. And really great questions, guys. I appreciate it. And awesome, ladies and gentlemen, we have just hit 10,100 likes. Celebratory water sip. Needed that. Let's see, what else do we have? Other cons? Saturation, competition, flaky non-payers. Interesting. I wouldn't say a con is necessarily that it's saturated. I guess it can be. You can consider it that. Nowadays there is a lot more voice talent than when I started. I would say that is true. But there are also a much higher, much larger demand for voiceovers now as well. Because if you think about it, every day there's a new startup, there's a new business, there's a new commercial, and every day they need a new ad, a new video, a new training, a new voicemail. Every day they need voices. They're constantly creating project and media that need voices. So there's more companies nowadays, more startups, and media is even bigger today than it's ever been. Like everybody's on their phone, everybody's visual, everybody's watching videos now. So they need voices. Like this voice industry, I'd say, there's a huge demand for it. And yes, you bring up a good point about like the saturation. Some people are worried, like, hey, is this saturated? And to that, I would say that just because there's a lot of people signed up on these websites, that doesn't mean they're any good. That doesn't mean they know what they're doing. That doesn't mean they have good customer service. That doesn't mean that, they're anything to worry about. Those guys are not on my live. They're missing out. You are here. You are getting the knowledge. You are getting the sauce. So already by just sitting here with me, getting my experience, you're already ahead of the game. A lot of this took me years to find out and figure out on my own, making mistakes, and boom, I'm just feeding it to you. I'm giving you the game. So consider it that way. Like, you're already, knowledge-wise, you're already several steps ahead of a lot of people who have no idea what they're doing. Think of it that way, and you're only learning more each and every day, and every time you tune into the live. So thank you for that question. Perfect answer. Thank you. What else? Just waiting for my pop filter. Awesome. Thanks for popping in, Stina Red. I'm just scrolling up here, seeing if I missed anything. Got a lot of questions, guys, so trying to... On my way, got the mic, panels, and headphones, just waiting for the pop filter. How can I sign up? How do you have to apply, and how do you qualify? So it's not a thing that you have to like apply for necessarily. I guess you could consider an audition a way of applying, but you would create an account online. You need to have a microphone. If you're a beginner, you can use a USB mic, but you need to learn how to edit your audio so that it sounds good. Don't go too cheap on the mic. I usually recommend at least $100 for a decent mic. A condenser microphone. I use the Yeti, and now I use the Yeti Pro, which is much better. But anyway, you have to create a good demo reel, and you have to put it on a website, and then customers will find you, and then you close deals. So a couple different steps there. You do have to kind of train your voice, but it's super fun, and there's a need for all kinds of voices for this. So again, started off as a side hustle. Learn a new skill. This is super fun. Do you get paid more if you have a better mic? Oh, this is a good one. I like that. I like getting different questions. I haven't been asked that before. I'm gonna take a sip to that. I would say, in my experience, it is extremely rare for a customer to ask you what kind of mic you're using. Extremely rare. And that could be a very good thing, because that's kind of pressure off your back. Like, you don't have to have this really specific, technical, complicated mic. What they are looking for is, how do you sound? Will you make us sound good? Will you send us some audio that sounds good? At the end of the day, that's what they're looking for. Because why? A lot of these companies are normal people. These are business leaders. These are business people. These are like people that run companies and startups and brands, and they create videos. These aren't audiophiles. These aren't like audio junkies. These aren't like people obsessed with audio. They're not. They're normal people that are doing a job. And so when you look at it from that perspective, why would they pay? Like, they want a good voice at the end of the day. So they're not going to be like, what mic do you have? They don't even know the difference between an XLR and a USB. A lot of people don't know like what a Shure, SM7B, like, they don't know. They can hear what they do know is, when they hear it, does it sound good or does it not? That's it. Normal people. A lot of these people that are buying voiceovers are normal people with important titles, or company leaders, business managers, video producers, startups. So, but I would say like I said, it's rare. I didn't say it doesn't ever happen, but there are some companies who might want specific microphone use. But in my experience, it is rare. It is rare. Is this your main source of income? Yes, this is my main source of income. I started as a side hustle, and I just grew it into my main thing. It's the best thing ever. Hi, aspiring voice actress here. What do you think of raw demos? So, for those of you guys that don't know what raw means, raw basically means that there's been nothing done to it. No effects, no sort of like editing or compression. Like, it's just, I recorded it into my microphone, and that is what you're hearing. So that's what raw means. I think that it's gonna be it's gonna be a little bit harder to book work with a raw demo, I think. The reason I say that is because every site that I have been on, especially the professional sites like Voices and Voices 123, they don't have raw demos on there. They have produced, like they edit them. They take the time to EQ them, to process them, to make sure it sounds clear. So I gotta say, like, your demo shouldn't. I wouldn't recommend a raw demo. It should be edited. It should sound crisp, clear. You should have some nice music mixed into it, because that's gonna make you stand out. Um, Keep a raw demo as reference, because every now and then you'll get someone that says, "Can you send me a raw? I want to hear the audio raw." If you get that, you have it on board. So, but yeah, you want to do the editing. You want to learn how to do the editing. And again, this is stuff that I do teach in my beginner's course on my um, in my the link in my bio. I have a website made with my raw demos, but it's not like really climbing me up the ladder. Exactly. So that could be part of the reason why it's holding you back is um you have to impress people. Like, the music, try blending some music into it. Try experimenting with EQ. What else, guys? What editing software do you recommend? Audacity is a good one for beginners. It's free. So again, that's why I love this side hustle, is because you don't need a ton of gear. You don't need a ton of equipment. Use your computer, invest in a decent mic, and download Audacity for free. But you do have to train your voice, guys. You do have to train your voice. You have to know the right exercises, practice, experimentation, learn your style. And there's many ways to learn that. Like, again, I have that beginner's course. That's why I stress it so much, because I put the exercises you need to learn in the beginner's course. But you can also find like a voice coach. You can practice reading out loud. There are books. Go to your library, pick up a book, and they have practice exercises. You can take speech classes. There's so many different ways to train your voice and kind of learn the ins and outs of proper, like, the fundamentals of a good voiceover. But those are just some ideas to get you started there. Is there an age requirement for this? My teen has been interesting. There's no right age. There's no right age. There's no right or wrong age. Like, I've seen kids do this, teens, young adults, 30, 40, 50, 60-year-olds. There is a spot for you in this. There's a spot for you. Great question. What else, guys? Got a lot. And we're at 11,000 likes. So I appreciate the love. Great questions. That's really tasty. What was your major in college? I went to college for art because I liked drawing a lot. But I realized one day I don't want to paint baskets of fruit for a living. So I changed my major to business, and things went much better. And I actually dropped out of college to do voiceovers. Funny story. I was in school and I was on my phone and I was to do voiceovers. Funny story. I was in school and I was on my phone and I was responding to customers, but I couldn't record because I was in class in a boring lecture, and I dropped out. I said, I'm sick of this. I'm focusing on voiceover, and it paid off. I grew it, and it's my main thing, and I've been able to travel the world doing voiceovers. It pays my rent. It's been really, like, it really paid off. I'm super happy with it, and I plan on doing it for a very long time. Why do you say any voice? Because not every voice is pleasing. Well, because there's, like, all kinds of projects. You could have, say, quote unquote not pleasing voice. You think it's not pleasing, but a company could say, like, you know what, I like your voice for a character voice or a cartoon voice or a video game voice, or I don't know, like, you'd be surprised. I've heard some voices that are not pleasing, but they get jobs. Like, I've gotten all kinds of requests. That's why I say that. Do you do more in other languages? I do get some in Spanish, but mostly English. So if you do other accents, other languages, you can also do different projects, different niches. Totally bought your course after your last live. Awesome. Congratulations on investing in yourself. You're going to love the content in there. If you have any questions, on the course, just reach out to me. I'm happy to help. I love helping my students learn and understand this side hustle. If anybody else is interested, the link is in my bio. It's a beginner's course that I put together. It has everything you need to get started, like what kind of mic to use, proper mic technique, how to train your voice to sound like a pro, proper warm-up exercises. In there, I even show you how to record in Audacity. And it even comes with practice scripts. I made practice scripts and I put it in there for you guys. So a lot of really great value. What else? A lot of really good comments here. How long should a reel be? So I recommend about 1 minute to 2 minutes tops. It needs to be short because people are not going to be listening to a reel for very long. So make it short. That's a pro tip. The price for my course is only $27. It's the price of a large pizza. Super, super affordable. So, and I wanted it to be affordable. So, and Stina says, so much info in the course. Awesome. See, there you go. There you have it. And Stina says, so much info in the course. Awesome. See, there you go. There you have it. Stina is one of my students who's enrolled in there, and she's vouching for it. So thank you, Stina. I appreciate that. I did put a lot of effort into it, and I made it for beginners, so it's easy to understand. It's step by step, and it's high quality too, right, Stina? Like the video and everything, like the effects and everything. It's super like entertaining as well. What else, guys? How fast can I get started and get my services online? I mean, that depends on you. You know, you'll need to get the mic. You need to train your voice. So every time you're going to get a little bit better with practicing. It depends on everybody. You know, it took me about maybe 2 to 3 weeks to get my first voiceover customer. Somebody this week said they made $1,000 within 2 weeks. But it's very different. Like, you know, it's a journey. It's a learning process. So it could be like a month. It could be 2 months. It does take some hustle, but the opportunity is there. And I want to show you guys the right way to do it the first time. So that way you start out strong. I don't want anybody to just go up there, not know what they're doing, and get discouraged. So take my advice, take the info. I've been doing this for 13 years. Just jumped in. What's your question? So I can't figure out Fiverr. I charge for the length of the commercial. Not sure how to charge. Okay, don't. Well, what do you mean by the length? Like the time? Don't do that. I did the same thing, and it was a big mistake. Don't charge for the length. I did that when I was starting out because I didn't know how to price. Charge by the words and charge for the license. So if a commercial is 200 words, charge them per every 100 words, or per every 50 words if you want. I do 100 words, and then charge them for the license. Charge commercial license and broadcast license. Charge for all of those things. Ask them how soon they need it. Let them know you could get it to them the same day for an extra $40. A lot of them will pay it. But if you don't ask, you just missed out on $40 just by not asking. So charge by the word count. That's what I would say. And make sure your demo is updated. Make sure your thumbnail is clear too. Like, it needs to be clear, like a nice picture. Try putting the word voiceover in the thumbnail. Make sure it's clickable. And look at your competition for examples. That's what I did. I looked at the people who were doing really well, and I thought as the customer, like, would I click on them? What do I like about that? What do I not like about that? And then take that inspiration and put it in yours. So that's my advice there, kind of a pro tip. What else? We got a lot of good questions. Don't take this the wrong way. What makes you more money, the actual gigs or your course? I make a lot more money doing voiceovers. I mean, the course is $27, and I've done lives where nobody even buys. So, it's just something I like to offer, and I believe that if you have something of value, and that if you're good at something, that you should charge for it. Like, you're worth it. That's my philosophy. If you're good at something, if you have something of value, then people should pay you for it. So that's how I feel about it. And I believe that you guys should feel the same way, that you do have something of value. You know, you should be getting paid for that. But yeah, voiceover is my main thing. What else? What websites? So Fiverr, Upwork, ACX. This is a good one. Do you record on the road? Yes, I do travel a lot, so I would be recording on the road. Uh, Hotel, Airbnb. I've even recorded in my car before. I try not to, but um, there's been times when I've been in a pinch. I've recorded in my car, and cars are engineered to be soundproof to keep sound from getting into your car. Uh, and so you can get some decent sound in your car, but it's uncomfortable. But I don't know, kind of interesting, right? To kind of think about that. What else? A lot of really good questions here. That was my major. Pretty cool. Did you enjoy your food after your last live? I haven't eaten. I haven't eaten. So it's still a little on the hungry side. I'll make something though. I would love to work on animated shows. Animated shows the best. Cartoons, they're the best. Like, they're the most fun. I really enjoy doing those a lot. What else? We get a lot of really good... And we are at 11,400 likes. What else, guys? Agreed. All the value you give on your lives is fire. And see, that's what this is about. Like, I love that. The fact that I'm helping you guys out, that gives me that makes it all worth it. Like, I love helping people out, and I think this is fun. Like, I have fun when I do this, and this is also helping me, like, with, like, I guess, stage performance. Like, this is also helping me. Like, I get more comfortable being in front of the camera, being more confident. So, like, I want to be here with you guys. I want to be answering questions, and I love building, like, and meeting new people too. Like, I love meeting new people and making these connections and hearing about your guys' progress and seeing that you guys are, like, excited and like getting results and working with people. And I met somebody that is another voice. Like, I meet voiceover artists while doing these lives. So there's a lot of reasons why I do these lives, and I love it. I love it. I'm on to step 3 once I get the filter. Awesome. Love that, Stina. Definitely keep in touch with me. I want to hear about your progress, and I love that you're staying dedicated. That is so cool. I love dedication. What else, guys? Do you include all of that in your price? Yep, everything. So in the beginner's course for $27, it's step by step. It's a step by step video tutorial series that I made myself, that shows you how to use your mic, like why you need a certain mic, so you understand the differences between the mics. You understand the proper exercises that you need to train your voice. These are exercises that I've learned and done myself, and I explain them to you in very simple to understand terms. I teach you how to sound like a pro, how to build a booth no matter what kind of budget you got at home. Build a booth at home, and also how to record. Someone earlier said that it took them a year to learn Audacity. See, if anything, the $27 is worth that. You learn Audacity, and you won't have to spend months learning this on your own. Like, it's all in there. And I also made practice scripts. I created my own practice scripts for you to kind of start recording and practicing with. So I basically thought, from a beginner's perspective, what does a beginner need to actually be successful in this and get started? And I put that, and I made that, and it's in my bio. So check that out for anybody who's interested in getting started. What else do we got here, guys? Just got the course. I'm looking forward to starting this new journey. Congratulations. Really happy for you, man. Stay in touch with me. Like, let me know if you have any questions or need any help. I'm always there for my students. Like, I want to cheer you guys on, and I want to be there for you guys. What else? Beautiful. I have a Blue mic. Is that good use for beginners? Blue is one of the better companies. I love Blue. Yes, I do. Which mic is it though? Because they have different ones. Is it the Yeti? Is it the Snowball? Is it the Raspberry? Which one is it? Which mic is it? Which model is it? And if you're not sure of the name, just tell me how much it costs, and I'll know which one it is. What else? Have you answered what software you use? So Audacity, you can get that on the Frizzle. I do recommend that. I used it when I was starting out. Great program. It's got all the features you need. Now I use FL Studio, which is a lot more robust, but it is expensive. So, not that you need something that fancy, but I use it, over the years. Once you get good at it and everything, you could upgrade. There's also Adobe Audition, which is $30 a month, but I don't know, there's different options. But Audacity is a good free one. Have you considered creating a forum website for your customers to interact, post questions, leads? That's a good question. I like that. And I have thought about that. I love that. Question. It's basically, have you thought about making your own place for your customers? And I have thought about that. But I haven't created one yet. And I would like to do that. And I would love to experiment and then give you guys feedback on that. But I believe that it would be a successful venture. The reason that I believe that is because I already have customers that work with me one-on-one, but they send me emails, right? They send me an email, hey, Chris, we need a voice for this training video or commercial. Can you send it to us by Friday? And I send them an invoice. But by having a website with your demos is good because it opens you to more discovery. See, I can't do that with just email. So I need to get on that, and I want to do that. And I know a lot of voiceover people do that, and it's a good place to, it's a good suggestion. So yes, thank you for bringing that up. I would recommend that, and I do plan on doing that in the future. I love that. What else? Hold on. What is this? Gotten a lot of good questions, and we're at 12,000 likes, guys. Thoughts on Ableton? Ableton's great. Yeah, Ableton's great. I found that I already have the Snowball. Ooh. It's an okay mic. It's an okay mic. I've used the Snowball before. I'm gonna be honest. I wouldn't recommend it like as a first mic. I'm sorry. I gotta keep it real. It's an okay mic. It's good to practice, but it's not my favorite. I would recommend the next level up, which is the Yeti. But yeah, I just wasn't a fan. If you get really good at your audio editing, you can make the Snowball sound okay. Like if I had just a Snowball, if you gave me just a Snowball, I could probably pull it off. Have a good solid booth, the right editing, EQ, compression. I think I can make it sound all right. But but that comes with experience. So I hope I didn't discourage you, but the Snowball is probably my least favorite blue one. The Blue Yeti Nano, yeah, that's a good one. I like the Blue Yeti Nano. I like that one. My favorite one is the Yeti Pro. That's the one I use now. That one's $230. Second favorite is the Yeti. That one's $130. Next favorite would be the Yeti Nano, and then after that would be the Snowball. So, and Blue does offer more expensive mics, like some $300, $400 mics. Like Blue is a microphone company, and they offer XLR mics that sound really great. But I like having the Yeti Pro because it also proves a point that you don't need to have a fancy mic. Because if I had $1,000 mic, I guarantee you I'd get people saying, well, that's easy. You have this fancy mic. And they can't say that now. They can't say that because I started with a $50 mic and then I got the Yeti. And so I am proving. Look, I'm a normal dude. I had no connects. I didn't have an agent. I didn't have a fancy studio. I used a USB mic and I made this happen. So you can too, and I'm proof of that. What else? I want to do this. Why am I hesitating? It's normal. It's normal to feel hesitation. Like, it's a normal feeling. You're learning a new skill. You're learning about a new venture, like a new journey. And so it could be excitement too, nervousness, all mixed into one. But you got to trust yourself. You got to believe in yourself. You got to get out of your own way. That's basically what I'm saying here. It all starts in the mind. I'm going to take another sip. I'm going to grab some more water, guys. Keep the questions coming. I'll be right back. I'm talking about the man in the mirror. I'm asking if he'll make a change. All right. Let's hop into the questions here, see what you guys got. Trust. Nothing to lose, everything to gain. Exactly. If you see it that way, you're going to have a lot more success than the person who is too afraid and never takes action. I mean, if I think about it and I was just, because I was hesitant, like I was nervous too. If I had just said, nope, I'm not good enough, I'm not doing it, and never signed up and never started recording, I would never have had all of this success. I would have never had all these customers and this experience. So it does start in the mind. Hey man, I'm told all the time you have a voice for radio. How do I get started? Yeah, if you have had compliments, you're in a good spot. Like, any validation that you've gotten is honestly, it's just a good thing. Because every person that has told me that they've received compliments, when I listen to their voice, it's nice. It's nice, but you still have to train it. No matter, like, if you've gotten compliments, if you've done public speaking, no matter what, like, if you've never done voiceovers before, you gotta train it. You gotta invest in your voice, understanding the fundamentals of a good voiceover. And those are the things like the proper speed, using pauses, using emphasis on certain words, having a good style, having flow. All of these components, you have to understand what each thing does to the script. For example, if I start to introduce pauses into my speech, notice how it completely changes the feeling of my voice and my message. It gives emphasis to each word just by pausing. Do you see what that did? And notice when I speak fast and normal, like, none of the words have any weight. It's just one big message. Nothing really stands out. Nothing really sticks with you. But if I say pauses are important, notice how much weight each word has. Do you feel that, right? That's what I'm talking about. You are understanding the fundamentals, each piece of the pie. When you understand, like, it's easy stuff to get. Like, you learn it, you got it. Okay, cool. Now you can record. Now you're ready. So it's not rocket science, it's just understanding the different ingredients. That's why I say, like, look, anybody can do this. They just got to take a little bit of time to understand how to control their voice, how to use their voice. And these are things that I have learned throughout the years. Felt every word. Exactly. But if you're told you have a face... You're told you have a face for radio and a voice for being a mime. That's pretty funny. How do you break into this field? Any opinion on PreSonus mics? That was amazing. So to break into the field, again, you have to train your voice. You have to, first off, you got to really want it. You have to have a passion. Like, this is an art. And it's best if you have a love for this. Like, you find this exciting. You are genuinely interested because it's supposed to be fun. So have a love for it. Train your voice. Do the practice exercises. Do the training. Like, if you hear ads on Netflix, ads on TV, repeat it. Repeat it and try to sound like them. YouTube some actual ads. Or if you're watching a video and an ad pops up, say it. Repeat it. Listen to yourself. Record yourself. This is what I did many times over and over and over again. And I would listen very carefully to how they spoke and how they delivered each message. So that's one exercise that you could do. But there's so many. What else? PreSonus mics. Depends which kind of PreSonus mic. I would consider what pattern does it record in. The pattern is important, and if it's an XLR, well, not an XLR, if it's a condenser or a dynamic microphone. Those are the things that I would consider. How old were you when you started voiceover, and how long have you done it? I was 20 years old, and I've been doing it for 13 years. So I'm 32 now. I guess I was 19 or 20, I don't remember. 2010. It's a long time. I've done it ever since. Never stopped. Ever since. And I had a normal job back then. I was going to college. I've done some like other freelance things on the side, like photography, videography. But voiceover has been the one that has stuck with me to the bitter end. It's been the most like profitable. It's been the most opportunities. It's been the most rewarding for me. And it's one of the ones that I love doing the most. And you can do it from anywhere, like with a Wi-Fi connection. So you could do it from home. I can't do photography or videography quite the same way that I can do voiceover, because I got to actually drive out and I got to meet people in person, which is cool and all, but when you have a side hustle that you can do from home, amazing. It's a game changer. It's a game changer. 13,200 likes, guys. Very, very awesome. Hey, I purchased the course, didn't receive an email. Ruba, check your spam for me. Check it while we're on the live. Sometimes it goes into the spam. So go ahead and check that right now while we're on the live. And it should say login credentials, and it comes from Voiceover Freedom. So check your spam. It should be at the top. Do you need a good computer to record with? The computer isn't the most important thing. It's first off, it's your voice. But you do need something that runs at least 4 gigabytes of RAM. So 4 gigabytes of RAM or higher. And it should be quiet. Some computers are really noisy. So if you have one of those big towers, you got to find a way to keep it further away or keep it quieter. So that's one of the reasons I got a laptop, is because it makes less fan noise. So that's my advice on computers. Yes, it was in spam. LOL. Thanks. Yep, no problem. And if you have any questions, make sure to unmark it as spam. Mark it as important. And reply to the email too. That helps. Just reply with like "got it," and send it, because that actually helps teach Google. Google, wake up! This is valuable. This is a valuable email. Why'd you do that? Do you create the different voice pitches, or do you use software for that? That was a good question. I'm going to give you the bronze interesting question award for this live stream, because I already gave away the gold interesting question and the silver interesting question. But for bronze, yes. I do create most of my own voices on my own, but there is some times where I will use the software to manipulate my voice to sound like something I'm not capable of. So I pitch it up or I pitch it really, really low. It's crazy what you can do with audio software. But most of the time, it's literally my raw talent on the mic. But like an example I'll give you is, If someone asked me to voice a really young character, like a little kid, I can make my voice sound kind of like this, but I'll use the audio to make it even higher pitched artificially, and it helps kind of sell it more. So that's an example. Or if I need to do like a really big character, but I can't get my voice to sound that deep, I'll use the audio to pitch it, or the software to pitch it down and make it deeper. But interesting question. And I think we're gonna wrap this up pretty soon, guys. I really enjoyed this. Like we did really great. We got 13,400 likes. I appreciate the questions. I might have missed a couple, but again, TikTok just like sends 50 all at once. It'll just send them all at once like that, and so I have to scroll up. But I do appreciate all the questions. On average, how much time do you spend editing, mixing, versus actually recording? I love that question. In the beginning, I spent a lot of time editing. And that's because I didn't have a process down yet. I was still learning. And that's okay. Like in the beginning, it's going to take a little longer. That's okay. Spend more time in the beginning. Learn the program, the ins and outs. And I was experimenting. I was trying different effects, and I was listening to what it did to the audio. So in the beginning, I was spending a lot of time editing, like maybe hours sometimes. The recording part, I was usually pretty good about it. I made a lot more mistakes in the beginning, but recording does not take a long time. It doesn't take a long time. Most scripts aren't very long, so you can get it done in maybe 10, 15 minutes at most. Maybe if you're a beginner, maybe 20 minutes to half an hour, maybe if you're just like really nervous, but it doesn't take a long time. The editing part can take a long time in the beginning. But now I'm like, if you see a chef in the kitchen and they're chopping veggies and they're just super fast and every cut is perfect and flawless, I'm not trying to brag, but I'm that chef in the kitchen. I've done this for so long that it's like smooth. Like I've done this for so long, I don't even think about it. I just record. Sometimes I'll make a mistake, like that does happen, but I'll just record. I'll get into the audio. I'll edit out the mistakes. Chop, chop, boom, 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 boom. And that process that I told you about, I have a process that will save you so much time. Some of it is in my beginner's course. I have a more advanced course as well with more like in-depth strategies to cut down on time, but there are some in my beginner's course because I teach Audacity in that one. And just one strategy that I teach in there, saved me so much time. When you get to it, you're gonna love it. Like, it's a good strategy. It's a good one. But yeah, it will save you hours of time editing. But yeah, once you get it efficient, like it just takes me minutes now. Good question. Love it. Thanks so much. Good night. Very informative. Thank you so much. Awesome. I love hearing that. That lets me know that I'm doing the right thing. I found my people. We're at 14,000 likes. Woohoo! Oh yeah. We're dancing. Thanks for your insights. Please go get some food. I know. I need to eat something before going to bed. What else do we got? That was awesome. This was an awesome live, guys. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Thank you for the love. Thank you for showing up as always. I do appreciate each and every one of you, and especially those of you who have shown up multiple times on multiple lives. I notice you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for the questions, the positivity. You guys are awesome. So thank you for being here. I feel like we bonded so much already. Yep. Really cool. All right, guys. That's a wrap. Again, for those of you interested in the beginner's course, it's just $27. It's links in my bio. I walk you through the mic, the booth, recording, mic techniques, exercises for your voice. And for those of you who joined late into the live, I will post this entire live on YouTube tomorrow, so you can get the information A lot of good information, a lot of good questions. I love that. So it's going to be on YouTube, Voiceover Freedom on YouTube. Check that out. And I'm a normal person. I'm a real guy. You can reach out to me. I will answer your questions. So thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good night. Enjoy your day. And until next time, this is Chris signing off.